I wanted to circle back. Like at the end of last week's show, there was some back and forth and there was some disagreements around the idea of girls' trips. And girls don't go on girls' trips or guys are able to go on guys' trips. So I know that Sophia and Bella, you all had some issues around that. Do you want to just state, kind of what we talked about or what was talked about, sort of what was said and what you sort of disagree with and kind of start there?
Me?
Either one of you.
Okay. Well, I watched a previous episode before I joined, and they talked a lot about how women shouldn't be allowed to go on dates or on girls' trips because they get all this male attention and they can't help it. They'll just get it. But guys should be able to because they can control how much they give out. And I think that's a double standard.
Do you think that
boundaries
men and women are the same?
No.
So if they're two people are different or men or women are different, can there exist a double standard? If there are double standards that are okay and that you agree with, like, do you agree, for example, that women are able to get into like nightclubs for free or not have to pay, but men are? Is that a double standard that should also be eradicated, or is that something that's not that big of a deal?
I mean, I wouldn't exactly call it a double standard. I feel like that's like pretty privilege. We're pretty.
So if there are different rules for men and different rules exist for women and than
but
men,
we're talking about relationships. We're talking about relationships, not like going out or like society, right? We're talking about like in a relationship. If it's two people, one person gets to do one thing and then the other person can't do the same thing. Why?
Because men and women are different, and there's different roles, and they're
but
different.
Girls.
Okay, go ahead.
No, wait. I want to hear what you're going to say.
Well, what do you agree? Do you disagree with the fact that, let's say, I'm in a relationship with a girl, you and I are in a relationship, you want to go to Cancun with a bunch of girls, right? You and your female friends, your group of girls, you're absolutely going to be hit on by men, right? Like, without fail, you don't have to talk to them. You don't have to look at them. You're going to have men. They're going to come up to you, want to buy you a drink, want to talk to you, dance with you, kiss you, flirt with you. That's going to happen, right?
Sure. But easily we can show no interest, right?
But that's not the point.
We have all the control because they want what we have.
But the idea is that you don't control the attention that you're getting. You don't control whether a guy is going to come up to you or not. You're going to get attention whether you want it or not. I mean, unless you...
It's not our fault, right?
No one's saying it's your fault. That's the point. Exactly. It's nobody's fault, okay?
Yeah.
But in the same token, men that go out to the same places do not have women that are approaching them, offering them drinks, talking about what kind of car they drive, talking about how they want to get them into bed, how they want to ride them and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's not happening for men.
Come on,
it's a completely different experience.
There's thirsty women out there who do that.
Absolutely.
The vast majority. This doesn't happen to men. Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't.
Maybe not you guys.
I do street interviews and I've asked women the question, how would you approach a guy, so many times, and every single girl, you know what she says? I don't approach them. They should approach me.
Men don't get approached. It very, 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 very rarely happens.
So guys going out on their guys' trips, but who's going to like control them? Like, how do you know that's...
Why don't you describe our last guys' trip where we went to Vegas?
Oh, but again, I understand that, because when we go to Vegas, we're not going out to parties and clubs, and we're not, doing all that kind of crazy stuff. We're going out and shooting, we're training, we're working out, but
in Vegas,
but that's irrelevant, because even if I did want to go out and I wanted to go partying and I wanted to go to a club or I wanted to go to a strip club or whatever that might be, I could still go, because I'm the one that makes the rules in the relationship, and whatever I say goes.
Why should you make the rules?
Because I lead the relationship. Because I have the responsibility because I have the responsibility. I have the responsibility.
So the woman doesn't have a responsibility in a relationship?
Well, I have the responsibility of dictating where the relationship goes and what makes it successful and what makes it not successful. I'm the leader in the relationship. So therefore, what I say goes. And if a woman doesn't like that, then she can leave.
What do you think, Anna? What do you think about this?
I mean, I have a propensity to agree with like a leadership dynamic, honestly, but I I still am kind of hung up on, I get that most girls are like, I don't approach men. I don't approach men. But like, there are a lot of thirsty ass women out there that like, I have to imagine if you guys went to a bar in Vegas, like maybe no one would come up to you, but maybe they would. Like, I don't think it's totally fair to say
We
that.
prefer to live in the world of reality and what actually happens most of the time. There's no reason to live as if the exception disproves the rule. The rule is, the vast majority of the time, women are not approaching men. There's just no reason to think, or there's no reason to live our lives by the minority.
But if you're
Can I
going
just
to a
hop in here
place,
for a second?
okay, yeah.
I think we touched on it last week a little bit too, because you were talking about girls' trips, and I think we got to like, hey, if you're going to a lake house or a cottage to do a women's retreat, a book club, something, you know, that is gal related only, go have fun, enjoy yourselves. I'll see you when you get back in 4 or 5 days. But if you're like, hey, we're going to Vegas for a bachelorette party, or we're going to Cancun for so and so's birthday for a week, that's not a relationship that I think guys should enter.
It gets down to boundaries and a conversation, right? You're not going to go on a girls' trip without talking to your partner first.
Yeah, but that's not
You're
how
going
it
to say,
works
I'm
when
going to go
girls go
here.
on
No.
trips.
Do you feel comfortable with this? Like,
No,
boyfriend,
that's
do
not
you
how
feel
it works
comfortable
when
with
girls go
this?
on
She
trips,
shouldn't
though.
even ask. She should be no better to even ask. She
That's-
shouldn't even bring that
What?
to me.
If she
A
is
girl that
invited,
brings that, a girl that would
it's
bring that to me.
insecurity. It sounds like strong insecurity.
Let's
You
throw it
can't
over to Anna
trust-
for a second, because I want to hear
I would,
from
yeah, okay.
from a 40-year-old.
Oh, go ahead.
You're in a marriage now. You've been married twice. This is your second marriage, you know, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Is it appropriate for a woman in a committed relationship that loves a man, lives with a man, wants to, you know, have a future with him, to put herself in a position where you can put that relationship at risk, i.e. bachelorette parties, i.e. Cancun, i.e. Ibiza, i.e. going to Europe for a month with her girlfriends?
I think at this point, if I was going to Ibiza or Cancun or something, like I would want to go with my husband to those fun places. Like to those, like if it's more of like party culture, drinking, dancing, I don't want to dance with random guys. I want to dance with my husband. So I am aligned on like the party scene. However, like I turned 40 and on my actual birthday, my husband and I went to Tulum, just the two of us. But 2 weeks prior, I did a girls trip to Sedona, and I rented us a sick Airbnb, and like we hiked and like ate in and like went to dinners, like nice dinners, and went to bed.
Yeah,
so like yeah, like we didn't go out, we didn't go dancing, we weren't partying. Like I don't think I talked to a man that entire trip. I just talked to my girlfriends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's probably okay to say like at a certain point, like you shouldn't do like party trips without your person.
I mean, it's pretty common for younger women to have this position that Bella's taking, where it's like, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If he can do it, then why can't I do it? Or why are you insecure if I'm not able to, you know, go on these trips, sort of thing. And it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's about respecting the relationship. It's about respecting the guy and not putting yourself in a position where you can jeopardize the love that you've created for one another.
But the guys
you understand
are
what I'm saying
putting
here?
themselves in that position. Like they can
No,
go
because
to a
when we went to
club
Vegas,
or
no,
strippers,
hear it
right?
out,
And you're
hear it
surrounded
out.
by beautiful women. You're going to be
No.
surrounded by beautiful women, right?
No, we're not going out to hang out with women. We're going out to fly planes, to shoot guns, to fight, have dinner, spend
Okay,
time with
but
the boys.
then
Well,
it's
maybe
this
you are, but
right?
other guys might not be. You know, like
That's not even my
maybe
argument.
It's not the argument either, but that's not even the point of the trip. The thing is, when girls do girls trips, it's woohoo, girls trips. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That's not
like,
true. It depends.
that is
Like,
true,
you
and you
guys,
know it's
you guys, no, wait, hold on. You guys can have your crazy boys trips, just like we can have our crazy girls
shooting
trips,
guns
right?
and flying planes is crazy, sure, but not from the
No,
perspective of exposing the relationship,
I'm saying
any kind of trouble.
if you are going out and shooting with your boys, then that's equal to girls going to a cottage, right? So that should both be allowed.
Sure.
We're talking about boys trip, girls trips, and previously you guys had stated that men should be allowed to go to Vegas and not do shooting things, go to proper Vegas stuff.
What's proper Vegas stuff?
You know, clubs, strip clubs, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're talking
I've never
about.
been to a strip club in Vegas, and I've been to Vegas probably about 25 times.
Okay, me too. I've been to Vegas too, and I've never been to a strip club there. But that's not what we're talking about.
Them, but yeah,
if it's a casual, just a friend hangout, then that's one thing. But we're talking about the double standard.
The trip you're describing, Rich, of like working, doing hard workouts and shooting, awesome, all day long.
Yeah,
Take that
exactly.
trip.
That's the same thing as girls
That's the
going to
same thing
Sedona.
as like going to Sedona
Right.
and hiking and like going to
So we're
nice
talking
restaurants.
about what can guys do that girls cannot, right? So that would be
Well,
a different type of
Moff
trip.
was talking
right?
about somebody having some authority and some sort of leadership role in the relationship earlier. Bella, you seem to have a problem with that. Anna, do you have a problem with a guy leading that relationship? Like, from what I've seen with women today, with the ones that I've talked to and even the private consults that I have, is they crave a masculine guy. They're tired of the sissy men. They're tired of the weak, soft, feminine type of guys. And they want a guy that's competent. They want a guy that knows if the tire gets flat on the car and they're in the desert on the highway, he knows how to change it, right? He's not going to call CAA or call his dad to come and fix or something like that. They want a guy that has those skills.
Yeah,
and if you're going to have,
capable.
hear me, and if you're going to have
Mhm.
some responsibility to that relationship to protect it and do all of these things, and you have to have some authority over it, because without the authority, it's slavery, right?
What?
Why is that a problem for you, though?
What do you mean slavery?
If you have responsibility without any authority, then it's slavery.
Okay. So you're saying the guy becomes a slave if there's no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to have some
So-
authority to lead the relationship.
Yeah.
I don't think that
Like, somebody's got to lead. Like, there's
masculine-
only a driver's seat and a passenger seat.
Yeah. I'm
in the
with you.
car.
I'm with
Do you
you.
fight over who's in the driver's seat, Bella? All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here, where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.